If you've ever been to Sudbury, you've probably driven over or by Junction Creek, whether you knew it or not. Maybe you've seen it in a residential area, like here along Nolan's Creek, or here along a main road, or here in downtown Sudbury. Junction Creek runs from Garson to McCharles Lake, but I will be looking at the most heavily disturbed and polluted portion of Junction Creek that runs through Greater Sudbury, ending at Kelly Lake. I am hoping to figure out how much it has changed over time. I will be doing this by looking at water quality and different biotic organisms. Junction Creek has felt the effects from the last 100 years or so of mining and smelting operations in Greater Sudbury. In some areas, mining waste containing heavy metals has historically been released into the stream, or treated before entering it. In the past, smelting activities released sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, which turned into acid rain, acidifying lakes and soils. This caused plants to die, leaving nothing to anchor the soil down or prevent chemicals and sediments from entering the creek. With the growing mining industry, more people moved to Sudbury, which led to its urbanization and industrialization. With this came an increase in chemical inputs into the creek, such as fertilizer and road salt, as well as structural changes to the river, including straightening, dams, and culverts. Some people still think the creek is their personal garbage. In the 1970s, the Sudbury Regreening movement began, which included decreasing sulfur dioxide emissions, planting trees, and liming the landscape. This decrease in emissions led to less acid rain, which caused an increase in plant growth. We know that the restoration and treatment efforts have directly affected the landscape, but what about the waterways and organisms that live within them? I'm here to bridge the gap between restoration, water quality, and benthic macroinvertebrates. Benthic refers to the lowest layer of the water column, including the subsurface and sediments. And here in or on these sediments are invertebrates, or animals lacking backbones, such as bugs and crustaceans. The macro part means that these bugs are large enough for us to see them and identify to some degree without a microscope. Benthic macroinvertebrates, or benthos, are simply the bugs living in or on the sediments of water systems. These bugs only live in the water through their larval phase, so they are all essentially baby bugs. Water and benthos were sampled at different sites along Junction Creek over the last decade. Sites were chosen for the study based on how close they are to tributaries and treatment locations. This data collected over years allows us to study differences in water quality and benthos over time and between sites. Numerous groups have been involved in this sampling and analysis over the years, including Laurentian University, VLWL, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, and Junction Creek Stewardship Committee. Fish were also collected this year at each site in order to see what species are present and how many. Algae were sampled so that we can learn how even the smallest organisms contribute to stream health. The goals of my project are to 1. Find the changes in water chemistry and benthos over time and between sites. 2. Find the differences in fish, algae, and sediments between sites. And 3. Relate these findings to treatment methods. For community members to better understand the importance of restoring the creek and to let them know which of their efforts have been successful, I plan on producing a Junction Creek report card. These findings have the potential to help management of water bodies, mining companies, and conservation or stewardship groups. Here in Sudbury, Junction Creek is an integral part of the landscape, so we have to learn to live in harmony with it. Who knows, someday we may even be able to eat the fish that we catch from it.